Good evening. If the President would please join us as we rise for opening prayer, led by Alderwoman Gould.
Almighty God, we ask for your blessing upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of your community. Amen.
Amen. Pro Tem Nash, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. First on our agenda is citizen comment general. I declare that open. The first person signed up is Mr. Marvin Cerruto.
Marvin Cerruto, 100 Star Street, Norwich, Connecticut, United States of America. Good evening. I'd like to speak about something I didn't get to speak about a month ago. I wasn't signed up and time had run out because we had what I consider the block talking program. And I just wanted to say that a lot of time was spent on something that was not substantiated. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And I would rather not see that sort of activity again. I also promised I'd speak about education every time I got a chance to. We don't want any more on the budget. We don't want to raise the education budget. As a matter of fact, last time it was mentioned that it would have cost the average taxpayer $75 per person or per taxpayer to assist that education budget. Well, I came up with something. I ran it by a few people. We could use that extra money for some National Rifle Association certified training courses. I could consider that. I'd just like to remind everybody of a couple of anniversaries that are important. We're celebrating the invasion of Salerno, Italy, to take back Europe from the Nazi Holocaust. I'm proud to say my father was a part of that. During that operation, Avalanche, many Italians went back to Italy to liberate. And tomorrow is Constitution Day. Tomorrow is one of the most celebrated holidays that we have. I'd like each and every one of you to reread it. The Constitution is under attack, especially the Bill of Rights. Rights are our warranty. There's already municipalities out there that are starting to come up with resolutions that will attack the Bill of Rights. And I plan on seeing to that does not happen here. Thank you very much. Happy Constitution Day.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Rodney Bowie.
Rodney Bowie, 62 Roosevelt Avenue. Joanne Feldberg is no longer with us. I hope those nutcases that were chanting out front, yo ho, she's got to go, I hope they're satisfied. I hope that whoever fills that chair right there has a more conservative attitude than Joanne did, quite frankly. The citizens of Norwich need to learn a little bit of respect. I respect each one of you guys. you don't agree with anything I say. But I still respect you because that's your position. That's what you do, right there. It's your job. And I can be wrong 99% of the time. It doesn't bother me a bit. But respect is something that needs to start in the home, not just in the school, because quite frankly, the schools have got all they can do to just keep these kids quiet enough to get the point across. Now, I've had a few medical problems, so I've missed a lot of council meetings. You passed the budget. I thought it was a pretty reasonable budget. That's what we hired this guy for. And yet turn around and, oh, we got to have more money for each one of these departments. Well, quite frankly, the departments need to learn to live within their budget. Really. We do not need to tack it on the tail end of every single budget that we do in this city. And I've seen it time and time again. It shouldn't happen. We can't afford to put it on our credit card. We can do a lot more with $5 million than to just pay down our credit card every time. The minimum payment is not right. And these folks that got up and spoke the last time about the baseball authority, the man that owns totally unsubstantiated charges against this guy, and quite frankly, the organization that they were shooting for is suspect. I understand it's on the terrorist watch list. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. That completes those who signed up at the beginning. Is there anyone who'd like to speak to the council on any issue? Yes, sir, Mr. Crabbe.
Good evening. David Krebs, 47 Prospect Street. I'm addressing two topics. First is Mayor Nystrom's WICH interviews Friday, describing 3 buildings where a developer drained his development loan account by replacing 3 roofs. Isn't this a reminder of Arkansas Governor William Jefferson Clinton's Whitewater development, where Slick Willie put the savings and loan company Morgan Guarantee on the ropes and the banker behind bars? Slick Willie avoided prison because he was elected president and fired every investigating attorney. And before leaving office, every detail of this scandal was legalized by the Community Futures Modernization and Graham Leach Bliley Bank Reform Acts that set the stage for the 2007-08 financial crisis. Homeowners mimicked Whitewater with liar's loans that bankers approved. Next, my handout copied a New York Times column in the August issue of Accuracy in Media newsletter about global warming climate change. The first 3 paragraphs introduced a pair of eye-opening polls on column 2, mid-page. In 2016, only 1% of the voters considered this topic important, and recently, Quinnipiac poll found that Washington State's governor is basing his entire campaign on warming climate, with less than 1% of Democrat support. The beans get spilled in column 3 at the top, citing studies, beginning with the science. Got that science argument having a 6,800 to 1 edge for funding. The EPA uses half of their budget to fund agencies supporting this topic. Tired taxpayers suffer more. If the 2 bottom summarizing paragraphs connect the Green New Deal the Democratic candidates tout, it means the U.S. Constitution is toast. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else like to speak under citizen comment general? Anyone else under citizen comment general? Third time, anyone else under citizen comment general? Seeing no one else, I declare it closed, and thank you all for sharing your concerns.
Petitions and communication. Number 1, letter of resignation from Barbara Steiger from the Commission for Persons with Disabilities.
A motion, please, to accept communication. Alderwoman Gould, second by Pro Tem Nash. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous. Votes 5-0.
Number 2, letter of resignation from William Wazika from the Uncas Health District.
Thank you. A motion to accept the communication, please. Alderwoman Gould, second by Pro Tem Nash. Is there discussion? Yes. Alderman DeLucia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to say to the public that we now have 3 vacancies on the Uncas Health District for residents of the city of Norwich, and I ask the community to consider applying for one of these vacancies. It is extremely important that we have Norwich represented on this regional board to its full capacity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of accepting communication? It's unanimous. Votes 5-0.
City Manager's report.
Thank you. This is the City Manager's report for September 16th, 2019. Staff and I met with Superintendent Stringfellow to discuss the comprehensive energy assessment that was performed by the Norwich Public Utilities for the Board of Education facilities. Future discussions will continue on this proposed cost-saving measure and capital improvements suggested. I attended the Southeastern Area Transit meeting of the Board Selection Committee to review the RFP for transit management services. The seat board responses/consultant selection committee is coordinated by the Southeastern Connecticut Council of Governments and includes representatives from Norwich and other local towns. I attended the monthly public safety meeting where I discussed the fire apparatus study, needs analysis, and replacement schedule that was given to the City Council on September 3rd. I presented a handout with the highlights of the report for the committee and public. After extensive discussion, the committee recommended a Phase 2 of the study to address the reduction in apparatus and emergency response times that would be altered. The project's next phase is to be completed for the February 2020 public safety meeting. I have been notified that the field work by CME Engineering for city-owned property on 18 Falls Avenue has been scheduled, and the survey map should be ready by the end of the week. Registration for fall programs through the Recreation Department is in process, and the majority of programs start this week. There are over 24 programs for youth being offered and over 18 for adults, which are on the city's website under the Recreation Department. The Norwich Rotary celebrates cultural diversity this week. Events include the Peace Pole rededication ceremony at Howard T. Brown Park on Tuesday, September 17th, starting at 4:30 p.m. The City of Norwich Planning Department will have a public input session regarding Central Avenue pedestrian safety improvements on September 18th at 6 p.m. at the Greenville Fire Department Community Room. Details of the event have been posted on the city's Facebook page. My assistant, Jackie Barbarossa, has registered the City of Norwich for the 2019 Eastern Connecticut Heart Walk that will take place on September 26, 2019 at the Mohegan Reservation in Uncasville. She has been a participant for a number of years on behalf of the city. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. There are questions of the city manager. Alderman Sam Browning.
This is more of a question to the mayor. Did we have the interfaith meeting with the head of the Tigers organization rescheduled? I know I saw something in the paper that there wasn't a set time for that.
Could you repeat What, you said you saw?
Okay, there was a meeting between the various churches, which was, and the head of the Tigers organization that was supposed to happen. There wasn't a fixed time, at least what I read in the paper. My question to you, because I know you were involved in this, was, has this been rescheduled?
The meeting actually took place yesterday.
My apologies.
That's okay. It came upon us rapidly, and we scrambled. All those who participated were preparing a joint statement to release information shared, learned, and so forth. Thank you. Other questions of the city manager? Seeing none, thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Citizen comment on resolutions.
I declare citizen comment on resolutions open and invite anyone who'd like to speak to the 3 resolutions on our agenda. Anyone like to address the council on the 3 resolutions? Anyone like to speak on the 3 resolutions? Anyone like to speak on the 3 resolutions? Seeing no one, I declare that closed. Thank you.
New business number 1, relative to community development allocation adjustment.
I'd accept a motion, please, to bring this forward. Pro Tem Nash, is there a second? Alderwoman Gould, is there discussion? Yes, Alderman Browning?
I see Ms. Kreese in the audience. Maybe she could explain the reason for the change.
Thank you.
Hi, there was a decrease in funding that my office was not notified of. So once I submitted the annual plan, the HUD office, local HUD office, got back in touch with me and said that the allocation was actually $8,000 less. So I had to redo the budget. I took the money out of property rehab and a small part out of administration to meet the allocation requirements, and I'm bringing it forward to the council tonight to make those adjustments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there other questions? Thank you very much. Is there further comment? Seeing none, all those in favor of the resolution? It's unanimous. The vote is 5-0.
Number 2, relative to a reappointment to the Youth Service Advisory Board.
Motion, please. Pro Tem Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, for the knowledge of the public, the person being reappointed with the council's approval as a regular member is Judith Post. All those in favor? It's unanimous. The vote is 5-0.
Number 3, relative to an appointment to the Board of Public Utility Commissioner Sewer Authority.
Motion, please, to bring it forward. Pro Tem Nash, second Alderwoman Gould. Is there discussion? Alderwoman Gould?
I will be supporting this resolution this evening. Mr. Wazika brings a tremendous amount of in-depth knowledge to the Utilities Commission, and I appreciate his willingness to continue to serve the city of Norwich, albeit in a new capacity. I'm sorry that we have to lose him from the Uncas Health District, but he will be a tremendous asset to the dynamics of the Public Utilities Commission, and I appreciate his willingness to serve our city once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there further comment? Alderman DeLucia.
I echo Alderwoman Gould's comments, and I would just say that I was very pleased that Mr. Wawazika came forward. We had a good slate of candidates that were interviewed. The deliberations were timely, but also extensive. But Bill has really shown that he has the skill set that we need on the Utilities Commission.
Thank you. Alderman Browning.
I am not part of the interview process. I did go and watch all the interviews. One of the things that NPU does is they handle our wastewater, our fresh water, our sewage. I understand it doesn't provide much of the income, but it provides almost a disproportionate amount of the headaches, and at some point, I understand we're going to have to rebuild our sewage plant, handle a number of different non-complying features with the pipes in the city. This is something Bill can help. He was with DEEP for 35 years, I believe, or more or less. And we need that sort of expertise. The other people interviewed, nice people, successful in their own lines of work, but he was the one who had the skill set which directly applied to what NPU needed at this time and place. So I will be supporting.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? I would just add my support for this nominee. He was one of the 6 people who were interviewed. I did sit in through all the interviews. I'd like to thank the others who applied. I thought a number of them brought various skill sets and knowledge to the position, but he clearly finished, I think, first in the consideration. And Alderman Browning is absolutely correct. His experience with DEP, particularly also in brownfield remediation, for which he was the head of the Eastern Office for the state of Connecticut, will be invaluable going forward. So I support his this nominee. Thank you. Yes.
I would like to encourage all the people that applied for this position that didn't get it to apply for some of the other open spots we might have. Your expertise could help us in, so look them up.
Thank you. Seeing no further comment, all those in favor? It's unanimous. The vote is 5-0.
I hereby move pursuant to Connecticut General Statute, Section 1-200, subsection 6, that the members of the Norwich City Council go into executive session for the purpose of discussing strategy and negotiation with respect to pending claims and litigation. City Manager John Salamone, Finance Director Josh Pothier, Kathy Kreese, Director of Community Development, and Corporation Counsel Michael Driscoll shall be asked to participate during all or portions of this executive session at the request of the City Council.
Is there a second? Alderman Nash. All those in favor? Thank you. Room 319, please.